Feel the waves cut through me, hypnotized by the sounds I'm breathing in. Hold tight, chemicals collide. Hold tight, hold tight, hold tight. Dripping lights paint the skies, all because of you. Dripping lights paint the sky.
Hey everyone, D. Josh here, and I'm going to do a review of the POCO M3 Pro. So this is a budget device. We reviewed first generation POCO M3 a couple of months back. The link is below. This is the Pro version. The Pro version is a repackaged Redmi Note 10 5G model with a cool new design. And this color is called Cool Blue. So there are three colors: the blue one, the gray one, which you normally see in the YouTube reviews, and the yellow one, which is the iconic POCO color. So I got the Cool Blue one. So they've done a bit of design here on the camera module here with a black lining right on the camera module. So it's a very nice design. So this body is made of plastic, and it's again a fingerprint magnet, so it's a plastic mimicking glass. It's not unlike the POCO F3, but that one was really a Gorilla Glass at the back. This is a plastic base with a Gorilla Glass tree in the front of it. The POCO M3 Pro retails about 700 ringgit, which is about 170 USD, and for the 64 gig model. So it's got a great set of specs for something at this price. Let's talk about the display first. So this is a full HD plus display, and then it's got one trick up its sleeve for a budget device. It's giving you 90 Hz refresh rate, and that's really nice when you were to use the user interface, when you have kinds of give you a seemingly fluid response and 90 Hz refresh. So and even certain games that support a higher refresh rate, games or applications. So the display is pretty good. It's sharp, it's crisp, it's a full HD plus, and at this price it's even got 400 nits in brightness. So using this for 2 weeks, it's pretty okay. Indoors you won't have any problem, but of course when it's bright, when the sun is shining straight at you, it's going to have the screen is going to look a bit dim, and yeah, but that's expected for the price that you're paying. So in terms of screen quality, so I benchmarked this against the POCO F3. So the colors are a bit less punchy, a bit dull as compared to something like an AMOLED display that comes with other phones. But overall, if you're watching movies, Netflix, consuming media, it's really a nice display. It's all good and pretty great. So under the hood here, the phone comes with a MediaTek 700 SoC Dimensity chipset. That's the one that comes with 5G as well, but 5G is still not relative for a lot of us in many different countries. And with a Mali G57 GPU, so you get pretty good performance, right? It's an adequate performer, I would say, for all apps which operate without hardly any kind of like micro lags, and making the phone stutter a lot. You don't get that. So it's a relatively smooth experience switching between programs and running your social media apps. You won't have any problems with this chipset. So we're past that now. In a budget phone, you can actually have proper performance for your applications, right? Unless it's very processor intensive. So one way to benchmark the processor capabilities is through gaming, right? So we ran a few gaming sessions. So this phone, as long as you stay under medium or so graphics detail, and around the typical 30 frames per second, games like Call of Duty Mobile can still play smoothly. So it's a pretty good performer for those kind of games, although you can't crank up the detail to and high frames per second, right? So like Genshin Impact, when you play games which require heavy processor, Genshin Impact is still playable, but it's really pushing it. You really got to stay within the lower to medium detail, right, and lower frame rates to actually get game time on that. But if you like that kind of game, I think Genshin Impact this phone really doesn't cut it, if you were to ask me, if you really wanted a smooth, enjoyable gaming experience. So the battery is a large capacity one, 5000 mAh. So that gives you easily 1.5 days battery, but charging may take actually more than 2 hours because the fast charging is only 18 watts charger. So onto the cameras. So the cameras, you get a 48 megapixel shooter here, the main shooter, and then it comes with a typically the depth sensor and a macro camera. So what we really want is the ultra wide. So that's not here, the key dependencies on that main 48 megapixel camera module. And in broad daylight, it takes again, in good lighting conditions, the camera shots are okay. I mean, you can definitely take some nice shots, but it's when the lighting is not so good, that's when the pictures get muddled, and that's when you lose details. But you would expect that from a budget device anyway. The nice thing is that it does come in night mode, so you can still take okay shots in low lighting or night conditions, but you got to spend some time with the cameras. And obviously, if you really want high quality shots, this guy just takes adequate shots. You really want to look somewhere else, but that's expected again for a budget device. And in fact, for this price of device, I think the camera is pretty good. At a 48 megapixel shooter is pretty good. So one big surprise when POCO released the M3 is that they actually had stereo speakers. Unfortunately, this is gone in this version, and I don't know why that omission has happened, but the audio is just not something to shout about. It's a big disappointment from the original stereo setup to a mono setup. So after using this for 2 weeks, I'm pretty amazed at its usability for this price. Playing games, running apps, and media consumption, it's all good enough. Hardly any noticeable lags or bad performance. Now this is what budget gets you these days. The POCO M3 Pro makes this, so who is this for? The POCO M3 Pro makes this device great for kids, for parents, older folks, and those who need a capable phone or a second phone, right? For users who are not really into high-end photography or performance, whatever just works for your day-to-day use, you get by with this guy. So if you like this review, give us a like, please share this video and subscribe to our channel so that we're able to produce more content for you. Right now I'm just going to have a bag of chips. Right now I'm just going to have me a bag of chips and just stay home and stay safe. So until the next one, this is D George from Midnite.